Self-projection is important because it's what you project out into the world. And it really usually doesn't have to do just with what you say, although the words we speak are important, but it's everything else. So for example, when we look at communication, the rules of communication, the majority of what you communicate to the world is through your body. What are you communicating with this? So people kind of feel you. Your body gives off cues. Think of it that way, they're cues. And then off those cues, people begin to assess you. They put a picture together of what they think you're like. Also, the other thing people absorb from you is your paralinguistics. It's your voice. It's how you speak, your cadence, whether you go really, really fast or slow. Do you use pauses? Do you let your voice boom, or do you constrict it and make it super small because you're shy or nervous? That's projection. And 7% is actually the words that come out of our mouth. So the majority of what you project out into the world is this. It's this tool. And I want you to think about it as you move, because what we care about is how you show up. An important factor to keep in mind is it's not how you see you. Yes, you matter. And obviously our internal drivers matter, right? Our self-confidence and our self-regulation. But when it comes to self-projection, it's what they see. It's how other people see you, and you can manage that. Self-projection is what people feel when they see you. And notice how I use the word feel, because it's what people absorb when they're around us, our essence, our ethos, our way of being. That's what people really get. It's not so much the words that we use or what we say, but it's like, it's what we show them and how we impact others. I want you to think of it like this. It's your first impression. When people don't know you, they've never met you before, your first impression matters. It only takes about 0.425 seconds for somebody to decide who they think you are. And the problem is, if somebody makes a negative impression of you, it is very, very difficult to reverse it. So this is why we always want to try from the get-go to get people to see us in the most positive light. I want to set you up for success from the get-go. And how you come off to others, how people feel you and see you, matters. In the U.S. Secret Service, I was the interrogator. So I did a lot of interviews all over the country when it came to trying to solve crimes. And often I would go and help local police departments to help them with their most difficult cases. When I walked into the interview room, I was always aware of how I introduced myself to someone. I had to keep in mind I had somebody who was likely scared. Most likely they were seen as a suspect. I was not a person they wanted to speak to, because anything you say or do can be used against you in a court of law. So people were extremely guarded. I had to work very hard to do what? Push down those walls. I didn't want them guarded. I wanted them relaxed. And I wanted to create an open flow of information. So I could come in and say, "Hi, I'm Special Agent Poumpuras. I'm here to interview you about this particular case. Have a seat." Or I could come in and say, "Hi, I'm Evie. It's really nice to meet you. Can I get you something to drink or a glass of water? Do you need to use the restroom? Okay, please take a seat anywhere you like." I just gave you two versions of Evie. The first version of Evie is pretty strong, severe, serious. Okay. The second version of Evie is, "Hey, we're relaxed. Let's sit down and talk." What version do I want? Well, it depends what I want. The first version is, "I need you to know I'm in charge. You look like you're a handful. Let's nix this before we even start. Have a seat. I also showed you where to sit. And how did I introduce myself? Hi, I'm Special Agent." Because I just want to make sure they understand that. And I used what? My last name. I set the tone of how I want that narrative to go. Now, if I have somebody where I'm like, this person's going to be hard to crack, I need to create some rapport, have a genuine talk, I need to disarm them. "Hi, I'm Evie. Nice to meet you." No titles, no need to remind them I'm a special agent, and I use my first name. "Can I get you a glass of water, something to drink? Do you need to use a restroom?" Very human things, very relaxed things. And then also, instead of telling them where to sit, I said, "Please take a seat anywhere you like." Because I want them to have a different version of Evie. When people see you as a person of authority, they're more likely to listen to you. They're more likely to say yes to you. They are less likely to challenge you. It means that they see you as someone who knows their stuff. They see you as somebody who is competent. They see you as somebody who is a leader. They see you as somebody that they can follow, that they can trust. Now, how does that manifest? One of the ways you can do this is to speak with conviction. Here's the thing. If you don't believe in what you are saying, then how do you expect other people to believe in what you are saying? It's not the message, it's the messenger. I do the news today, and one of the things I always have to keep in mind is, am I delivering the information in a way that exudes authority? Meaning, I know my stuff, I've done my homework, I've prepared. You can listen to what I'm saying, and you can trust in what I am saying. In 2012, they did a study of politicians running for office, and they wanted to see which politicians would likely win. Were there any common traits? Of all the people who won, the one trait that they found was paralinguistics. They commanded their voice. They spoke with authority. They spoke with conviction. They actually even used their deeper tone of voice. Sometimes we don't realize that we may go high, we may go super fast, because our voice, kind of think of it like, it's almost like it captures everything we've been through in life. So if we've been told to lower our voice, or we've been told to hurry it up, or maybe we've gotten the message, you don't matter, stop talking, that can be captured in our voice. Often the voice we use, it's not our true voice. So I encourage you, take a step back, listen to yourself speak. You might cringe at this, record yourself. Listen to what you sound like. And if you don't like what you sound like, that's okay. Change it. Use the voice that resonates most with you. Find your true voice, not the voice that you've manufactured or created because other people maybe have imposed things on you to make you think you should speak a certain way. Sometimes we also want to pay attention who we're speaking to. So you may have to adapt your paralinguistics sometimes to fit the situation. I'll give you an example. I did an interview, and it was an interview where there was a 3-month-old baby who had been abused. The baby had suffered an injury, and they suspected that the nanny did the injury. Now, the nanny had been interviewed multiple times by different authority figures in law enforcement. Each time she was interviewed, nope, I don't know anything, I didn't do anything. So I get a phone call, and I was asked to go help the local police. So I go to this police department, and I sit down, and I meet the nanny. Now, this is my hardened criminal. My hardened criminal sat like this. She had a really soft voice, and she kept looking down. Now, I brought in Secret Service agent Evie. But clearly, in this moment, that wouldn't work. So what did I do? I read who I had across the room. She was afraid. She was quiet. She was soft. I needed to match her. I needed to adapt to her. If I came in guns a-blazing Evie, I would have shut her down. So I sat down, and I had a conversation with her. Hi, how are you? I softened my tone. I tried to meet her at her gaze. I brought a version of myself that adapted to her. I also matched my paralinguistics to hers. Hour and a half later, I had a confession. You can project the tone of what you want people to absorb in something as simple as your introduction to them. So pay attention to the cues that you give off. Think about your presence and how you, honestly, like, how do you enter a room? Do you pay attention to your body? Or do you just walk in? How do you carry yourself? How do you command yourself? How do you sit at the table? In fact, here's an exercise. Next time you have a work meeting, I want you to sit down and assess every single person in that room. Look at how they're sitting. And then look at what cues they're giving off. Size them up. This person is this person is this person is this. There's no magic pill. There's no magic bullet. It's not, hey, do this one thing, boom. Everybody's gonna be eating out of your hands. No, it's all the little things you do One thing after another, after another, after another. It's all these little things that we are talking about here today, that if you do them, and if you incorporate them into your life, if you pay attention, and if you're deliberate, and you think through these things, you're going to make the changes that you want. But you have to care. I can't care for you. You have to care. If you do care and you want to change the projection that you put out into the world, then I'm here for you.